brothers and sisters. How you doing? It's brother Elihu. You know, I was just talking to some brothers on the corner just now, right? You know, and we was talking about certain things. You know, the brother was talking about a study that they did with black people in the computer, right? What's up, Sean? They was talking about niggas on the computer, right? They had a white boy on the computer and shit, and then they would flash like image, you know what I'm saying, of like either a black man or a white man, right? And then they told him, you know, whenever you see a weapon, shoot, you know, with the button on the computer, right? And he said, you know, white image come up, nothing, guy ain't do nothing. White image come up, guy do nothing. You know what I mean? White image come up, guy got a gun, you know, he hesitates a long time and then finally shoot. Black man comes up, he got a wad in his hand, shoot. You know, he shot. Black man come up, nothing in his hand, he shot. Black man come up, gun in his hand, he shot. White man come up, gun in his hand, still hesitate. You know what I'm saying? And that shit, man, reminds me of in 1945, they did a thing called the doll experiment, in which they had little black girls, you know, from the ages of like 4 to 8. You know what I'm saying? And they had, you know, asked them, you know, they had dolls out and told them, you know, they was free. First they sat them in a room and they didn't know they was being recorded. And they had black and white dolls out, you know, and all of them grabbed all the white dolls and shit. You know what I'm saying? I think it was like 2 that didn't. Out of 10 girls, black girls, 2 took black dolls and 8 took white dolls, okay? So then the next part of the experiment was this. Had a white lady sitting at the table, and across from her they had a little black girl. And the white lady is holding 2 dolls, a black girl and a white doll. I mean, a black doll and a white doll. So the white woman would ask the little black girl, and remember, they between ages 4 and 8. And the white lady would say, which one is the smart doll? The little black girl pointed the white doll. Which one is the bad doll? She would point to the black doll. Which one is the pretty doll? They point to the white doll, you know. Which one is the happy doll? They point to the white doll. Which one is the sad doll? They point to the black doll. You know what I mean? So the question is like, what the fuck are we doing wrong that by age 4, you know, young kids, now they redid this was happening in 1945, they redid the study again, I think in 2010, they got the same results, that 8 out of 10 chose white as, you know, good, nice, smart, pretty, you know, happy, shit like that. 8 out of 10, same goddamn results. So from 1945 to 2010, you know what I'm saying? That's approximately what, 65 years? 65 years later, you still have the same negative perception of what it means to be black. You know what I mean? So where are we going wrong that by age 4, our young kids, you know, are choosing white dolls or black dolls? They think that black is sad, ugly, you know what I mean, and all that, and that the white doll is happy, pretty, smart, and the black doll is sad, stupid, ugly. You know what I'm saying? Where are we doing wrong that by age 4, that type of mentality is already embedded in our children? Well, the answer is television. Television is corrupting your motherfucking kids' minds. And the second part is school. You see? Because in school, they see white people in a position of authority, principal, school teacher, problem solver. You understand what I'm saying? At home, what are they seeing? Disorder, fighting, yelling, screaming, unable to pay rent and bills, unable to solve basic problems. You see what I'm saying? So these are the type of things. In school, they see white officer friendly. You know, they get introduced to seeing white people as authoritative figures very early in life. And this is not no fucking accident. This is not an accident. This shit is intentional. It's a groomed process of social engineering. So you black people, you have to change. You have to start reverse engineering the motherfucking mechanism that's in place to seduce your motherfucking kids' minds, man, and cause them to be disorderly and shit like that. Because they got a new nigga called a Mexican, and he's a well-behaved nigga. And they sick of your ass, this unbehaved, inappropriate behavior type nigga. You know what I mean? And they are no longer willing to put up with it. In fact, instead of just what they used to do, just put the foot in your ass and knock you upside the head a few times with the baton. You know what I mean? We went from the whip to the baton, and now we've gone to the baton to the stun gun, you know, and the goddamn handgun. So, you know what I mean? I just wanted to give y'all a little something to think about, man. You know? Good morning, sister.
Good morning.
How you feeling? I'm all right, sister. It's always good to see you. I like that smile. Yes, beautiful sister right there. Everybody loves Brother Elihu, man, except the cracker and agents of the cracker. You know what I mean? Oh, man, they coming at me full force, too, on there. Hey, Ada. Hey, Teresa, how y'all doing? All right. You know, they coming at a brother full force, man. Rob, I ain't gonna say no name, cause you know what I mean, but it's a brother that got a site, one of them damn black sites. Most of the sites that got black, most of the communities that got black in the title, let me tell you something. Man, they're set up by fucking agents of Google. Google agents who have set up the site to monitor, for one, to set a tone of pacification. All right, they're gonna put black in the title, and then they're gonna set the tone so they're gonna try to groom you and tell you what black is by posting exercise, eating right, or you know, little small, tame, mild black issues. They won't address, you know, white supremacy, not in no strong manner. You understand what I'm saying? These are your black Google Plus sites, man. You know what I mean? And I was gonna call out like 4 individuals that I know agents. You know what I mean? But I ain't even gonna go there and shit. You know what I mean? I have to try to strategize and stay on here. You know what I mean? Because the motherfucker, he came and me real. I posted some shit about, you know, are there any sites? Are there any communities? Now I ain't mentioned his community. I said, are there any communities, you know, that are, you know, designed specifically to engage white supremacy on the level, on grassroots level, local levels, you know, police levels, on the levels that black people, you know, have a direct interaction with on a day-to-day basis. I'm not talking about corporate white supremacy. I'm not talking about international white supremacy, but local, low-level white supremacy in which we come into contact every day we step outside our home, every day we turn our TV on, you know what I'm saying, or look out our window, basically. You know what I mean? Immediately he came out saying, well, if you don't, you know, like the community or whatever, you can leave. Yo, check this out. I never even mentioned nothing about your community. I posted the shit on several communities and then public into my following. You know what I'm saying? That's why, yo, I don't even deal with the black communities out there on Google Plus. When I make my post public and to my following, man. Because, yo, and then ever since I made this last video though, on how to prepare for revolution, oh my God, yo, it's been like 10, 12 of the motherfucking agents coming at me real hard, yo, from the left to right, some trying to get with a nigga, you know what I mean, all that shit. And yo, I already have developed, you know what I mean, an eye for how to spot these motherfuckers, man. And I ain't been wrong yet. You know what I'm saying? I ain't been wrong yet, brother. I ain't been wrong yet. And when I like that's why I fucking nigga Super Houdini gun, yo. I put that shit out there. He was a fucking agent. I blew his cover. You know what I mean? Blew his fucking cover. They replaced him with some other motherfucker. You know what I mean? And that's all they'll do. They'll even switch up moderators and owners of the communities from time to time, man. You're gonna see most of these owners of these communities or whatever are real docile ass niggas. You know what I mean? Your Stephen Hill BET president types. You know, they them type niggas that try to set the tone of what being black today is all about. Nah, motherfucker, being black today is about getting this goddamn crack up off my goddamn back. Being black today is how we gonna get this cracker from stop trying to kill us. You know, being black today is about shedding some light on the many ways that, you know, white supremacy is smothering the shit out of us and trying to eliminate us and wipe us out off the earth so that there will be some niggas So there will be some niggas in the world in the year 2200. Because if we continue at the present rate that we're going right now, there will not be any niggas in the world in 2200. Believe that shit. Our last population numbers in 2010, we was 13%. We've now dropped to 11%, and the motherfucking Hispanic is at 13%. Our numbers are going down, man. Are going fucking down. Why are they going down? That's the question. Well, goddamn it, they going down because of homosexual agendas, you know, like Dr. Umar said. If I can convince your child to be homosexual, they're not likely to produce the two kids they would have produced had they been straight. And that goes for male and female. They're going down because of the prison industrial complex. If I can give your young juvenile long sentences, juvenile life, and shit like that, right? They're not likely to produce, they won't be able to produce the two kids they would have produced had they been on the street. You understand what I'm saying? In Baltimore, Maryland, our Mayor Stephanie Rawlins closed 24 elementary and middle schools under the guise that they were old buildings. Bullshit. They weren't that old. And then the ones she declared as old, okay, they might have been 25, 30 years old, but structurally, they were sound. You know what I mean? So she created a crisis. That's crisis creation, right? To bring about a specific agenda. And I taught y'all that shit. I mean, y'all got to start listening to it, brother, and paying attention, man. Because I don't know how long they gonna keep moving. Because right now, they playing me real motherfucking close. And I know my time is numbered. You know what I mean? They sending these motherfuckers at me from the left, right, front, back, above, and below, yo. But I be, hey, boy, I be knocking them motherfuckers down, yo. Y'all niggas know. I be knocking their ass down, yo. They can't fuck with a nigga. You know, they double them up, triple them up on a nigga, and I bust that motherfucking ass with no Vaseline. Because you already know. You know what I mean? You got a real one right here, Joe. You got a real one right here. And they know that shit. So then the chump on the line, right, so-called owner of the site or whatever, he said that little bullshit. If you don't like, you know, the site or whatever. I said, first of all, I never mentioned your community. All I said is, I posed a question. Are there any communities out here, you know, who do this and other? That's all I did. I didn't say nothing bad about his site. I didn't say nothing about his site. The name of his site wasn't even in the goddamn sentence that I wrote. You know what I mean? And his response was retaliatory, and it was defensive. You know what I mean? It was basically how white people do. You know what I mean? He operated out of a sense of fear. You know what I'm saying? So once he said that shit, this is what I already assessed out of that shit. I say, well, the motherfucker must know me. He must know my work. And if he know me, you know what I'm saying, then the likelihood of him being an agent, because I know I'm on the motherfucking list. You know what I'm saying? I know I'm on the list. See, they took out these old moderators and old so-called owners of the community. You'll see a lot of them cats that was the moderators and owners of these communities like 6 and 8 months ago have been replaced by these new motherfuckers. Because obviously they wasn't doing a good enough job. And then the way that they all coming at me now from the left, right, all day, they come at me the same way. So that all tell me the way that the approach that they use in order to come at me, that shows that's some part of some type of training. You know what I mean? Because how is it that 10 of you motherfuckers came at me and the little guys how you use to slide your ass in there to even begin a conversation with me is all, you know, the same. You know, it demonstrates some type of formula or construct that's being used. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? And then they try to make these little, you know, faggot ass attempts to try to discredit a nigga or to try to, like, you know what I mean, offset a nigga and this and another. This shit is all the same. You know what I mean? It's all the same. So that tells me y'all train niggas out of the same goddamn school, you know what I mean, which is the Google school for agent spies, for eyes and ears, for social work. You know what I mean? Having social work, I told you before, is basically the way. See, this is how social work got started. The king in the castle, you know what I mean, versus the serfs, the peasants, all right? And the king had to he was paranoid as a motherfucker because he knew he fucked over the peasants and that he needed to know he always operated out of fear, like at any time these motherfucking peasants are gonna rise up and kick my ass. Sounds familiar, right? The crackers, they fucked us over, they know they did us wrong, and now they operate out of a sense of fear. At any time, these niggas gonna try to pay us back for slavery. And that's why they treat you the way they do. That's why they have so many mechanisms in place, you know, buffers in place to trip you up, you know what I mean, to hold you up, to beat you up, to kill your ass. You know what I'm saying? Because they operating out the sense of a fear of, you know, One day these motherfuckers are going to try to pay us back for slavery. They do the same thing with Japan. That's why they try to get close to China. You know what I mean? Because they know China and Japan don't get along. So they try to ally with China. Well, of course, Japan shouldn't like your ass. You drop 2 goddamn atomic bombs on an island. Because Japan is not a fucking continent. It's a fucking island. It ain't even bigger than God. It's about the size of Jersey. Okay? Japan's about the size of New Jersey. And you drop not 1, but 2 atomic bombs on there. You know what I mean? And even now to this day, man, the radiation is still present. And this shit happened somewhere around 1942 or some shit. You know what I mean? Around the ending and closing of World War II. World War II was from like 1937 to 1945. I'm making a video. I'll be with you in 1 second. Yeah, for 1945, you know, in around 1945, you know what I mean? So, of course, they fear Japan. But now Japan has gotten their numbers up. See, these are the models that we should study. Japan has gotten their goddamn shit together. They start competing. And then most of these countries that you seen jumping in here on this world stage and getting this mad respect, they did, man, within the last fucking 50 years, man. You know what I mean? Cuba showed you what the fuck you could do if you stood up to the cracker. You know what I mean? And they mostly peasants. Fucking Vietnam, a fucking country full of rice farmers, showed you what you can do when you stand up to white supremacy. See, but you cannot let them pick your leaders. You have to have an eye for spotting leaders that have been picked and sold you out. If y'all standing up to white supremacy and shit, and motherfuckers come on the scene with bullhorns and shit, any motherfuckers that bring their own bullhorns, you need to suspect they ass. You know what I mean? And any motherfuckers that's telling you some shit other than some hardcore retaliation shit, you need to question their ass. Because any motherfucker that come to you with a bullhorn talking about holding a demonstration, he's a sellout leader. He's been bought by them and sent by them to keep your ass pacified. When a baby is crying and acting up and shit, and you want to kind of shut them up, what do? You give them a fucking pacifier. And that's the same thing that white supremacy does. Whenever they fuck you over and you rise up against their ass, they send out black picked leaders by them to pacify your ass, to give you certain little shit, to quiet you down, and to shut you the fuck up. Alright? This is Brother Elihu Ill. I love you black people. Peace. What's up, Tweet?